sure that Nigeria becomes a nation that's glorious enough to not only lift the people of Nigeria onto progress and prosperity and peace. It's also very important for the continent of Africa, and by extension, it's actually more important for the black race. Because not only is Nigeria struggling, the continent is also struggling because of bad leadership. And the black race is also in need of some kind of renaissance to make it become a race of pride once again. And that's what Nigeria stands for. Is the reason we don't have time, and we must act very fast. I remember in 2014, 2015, Mbaka's tears used to be the permanent thing on our Facebook website. Our reporters, she had this very powerful message, and he was crying, and just pictures still resonate with me to this day. And after that, of course, he came under a lot of pressure, and I would say persecution. And he apparently didn't know this, but I don't think there was an army to protect him. We had to rally around him without talking to him. I remember trying to reach him at one time in Enugu to say, hey, what can we do for him? Because we know these people are merciless and we have no protection. He didn't get to talk to me. He sent someone to say, look, I'm going to be protected by my conscience and my God, who I serve. And that was enough, but we had to do what we had to do. So where we are today is that we are very, very sure that Nigerians are ready to move in a different direction. Not to move backward, but to move forward. And in making this happen, we need all of the good people once again to rise up and join hands and join hips to make the country become somewhat of a country that can move very rapidly from where it is going now into the doldrums, and if we're not careful, into oblivion, to a nation state of pride, to a nation state that functions for some people, that functions for the basic needs of a nation state, because the nation is totally fragmented now. And the reason is simple. There's just no leadership capable of pulling Nigeria back on track. The leaders we have today have done their best. What you're seeing is the best they can offer us. Sometimes I think we're unfair to them to ask of them better than what they're giving now, because they don't have anything else to give. And in some ways, they are careful to even reveal that they don't have any more things to give. The president of the country last week said that they have done everything in terms of security, and whatever is left, they hand it over to God. The vice president said we have now handed Nigeria over to God permanently. Since I was born, Nigeria has been permanently handed over to God.
Enugu's slogan is Enugu is in the hand of
God. So I don't know where it was that they took it from God and then handing it back to God. But the paradox there is that they're telling you that they have nothing else to offer. That's the best way to express it. But I think that there are people in Nigeria who can speak truth to power. And in speaking truth to power, you can elevate the conversation to conscientize a new generation of young people in the country. 70% of them who are ready and willing to take on the old people and retrieve back their country. And that's why we've come to meet Father Mbaka. We've been tracking him for days. And I have to thank you, Dr. DK, for making this happen. Finally, thank you so much. Our movement is a movement to beat in Nigeria today.
Well, I try to make this happen because Nigeria is a land of my father. It's the land of my family heritage. And I was in Nigeria for the first 3 months this year. I mean, I went from last year, the first 3 months this year, I was there all that time. And I really want to see change. I really don't like what I'm seeing.
You gotta be careful with the word change. It's been abused by the last
But I really want to see change. The bloodshed and all that I see. So I'm interested in who becomes the new leader of the country. And So I'm interested in knowing more about you, what you have to offer, your platform, how feasible it's going to be. And I know that Father Mbaka is a highly respected leader, very spiritual leader. So I thought that the dialogue would be a good thing, a good start, and let's see where it goes.
Yes. And
You know, I don't know who I'm speaking with.
yes.
Sure.
And I have not had any person-to-person encounter
With
before now. So when you told me yesterday that somebody's coming to see me, and he wanted to tell me the name, I said, don't. He said the person running for president. I said, I want to see him, but I don't want to hear the name.
Wow.
Let the person come. He said, but let me give you the. Why don't you want to know the name? I said, because I don't want to get biased. Because even during Jonathan Buhari thing, I've never known Buhari. I just heard he was once a president.
You never met him?
I've never. I don't know Buhari when I started speaking about him. So, and I believe that God has plans for this country. Just as we are saying, they said they're handing everything over to God. It is just a deceptive utterance. If they could hand anything over to God, God is the best person to take over what is handed over to him. But they don't hand anything over to him.
That's right.
You tell somebody that you are now moving to Washington. Meanwhile, you enter a Kekana Pepe, going to in Enugu. So you are not in any aircraft. So if they could hand everything over to God, God will even help them to move the country forward. Because a country of this capacity, with this number and goodwill people, wonderful youths that are highly innovative, very industrious, ever sacrificing, yet abandoned and not taken care of. No opportunity created for them. And the so-called leaders in quotes are busy swindling the country's wealth. And there's a pragmatic fraud going on every day. If the thing was in a microscopic size, now it's in a macroscopic size. And if it was benign, now it is malignant. And people are telling us that there's no trouble. How? That person must be satanic. And the youths are crying. And before you know it, somebody who was 30 years ago, 30 years into 2010, by now, 39 years.
That's right.
38, 39. Give him 10 more years, 40. Before you know it, the person becomes an old man. No money, no hope, apart from God. That's why many are now moving into God. Yet, when you see that there are things God cannot by himself do for you, God can give you the body, but God will not give you the clothes. Or even if he has to get the clothes, he will not put it on you. God will not take bath for you. If you want to eat, God can help you to excrete, but God will not clean the anus for you. There are many things God can do directly. He will help you to go to school, but he won't read the book for you. He won't write the exam for you.
Show me works, and I'll show you.
Yes. So I'm thinking that Buhari is not a bad man. The way I see him, Buhari naturally is a good man. Buhari meant well for the country. But I can see Buhari as a man whose ideologies have been kidnapped. I can see somebody that is bemused. I can see a man that is confused. I can see Buhari, in spite of his goodwill, he had some people around him that have no ideology that is in tandem with his, that he must change. because he must know he's writing a history for himself. Oh. And the way the country is going down, people around him may be telling him lies, but he needs the raw truth. Now an election is coming again. It's not a matter of we are doing road here. We are doing those who handed the baton over to him didn't hand a good baton. They handed a baton of corruption, which he wanted to change. As Buhari, which is there above military, he could do that. But the Buhari, in the democratic, with this kind of lawmakers in the Senate, even the most magical president can do a little, unless there are things that must happen in the nucleus level of change, because the change mantra has been also hijacked. The people around him are laughing over it. What I'm thinking we to do now, because you started talking about our country and things, so we do a bit of an introduction.
Yes.
They call me Reverend Father Mbaka, AGK. I'm a priest of Enugu Diocese. I am the servant of the Adoration Ministry worldwide, but now located basically in the home base of Enugu, in Umuchibo, Ejinike. That's where I operate from. I came last week for a crusade in Washington, D.C. here. And by tomorrow, I'll be moving down to New Jersey for another crusade. So I thank God for all the miracles He did in Washington, and I pray He will do more in New Jersey. So I ought to have left to New Jersey today. But when Dr. Dike told me that somebody is coming to see me, once I heard this about the wellness of Nigeria, I canceled my flight. I don't need to know the person. Whoever God will send to save the suffering country, because right now, if this unhealthy organogram will be perpetuated, I am telling you that the country is blinking red.
Yes.
And we don't need to wait until there's somebody in the intensive care unit dies. We need more oxygen. We need more life support. Because Nigeria is, now they are talking about agriculture. That thing is just a public deceit.
Mm-hmm.
Some of us who are agronomically minded, I have a big land of hundreds of hectares to cultivate. I knew what it took me to acquire that land. How do you get the capital for it? How do you get the support in opening up the land? Mm-hmm. Now, 90% of our graduates, youths, who meant well and they can challenge any brain in the international world, are idle. They can't move out at home. They can't be helped. And these politicians are busy blessing the so-God in quote, because everybody is handing everything to God. So the president is handing everything to God, the vice is handing everything over to God. They are praying that these youths will have nothing doing, so that during the election, 1,000 naira will buy them over. Because they are hungry. Because this wretchedness or poverty condition they created in Nigeria is just a manure that helps the tree of corruption to be growing very well. The boys are hungry, the ladies are hungry. People want to go out of their own fatherland to where the money from their land that they give sent to. Because the worst thing that happened to Nigeria is when these leaders still they don't invest it in Nigeria. They send them out. And the international community that should have come to help us, like President Obama, will not be allowed to know the truth. He will hear lies, even those the secret agents who are reporting to him are not telling him the truth. Mm-hmm. Because no leader will know the truth of what is happening in Nigeria and will allow what is happening to continue, unless that leader is an evil leader. which I know somebody like Obama cannot allow. The president of France cannot allow it. Is it Israel? Where? So Nigeria is in trouble and we need help. That is the simple truth. I'm not talking about Muslim or Christians because we have good Muslims.
Mm-hmm.
We have good Christians. I'm not talking about Catholicism or Pentecostalism. I'm talking about the integral wellness of Nigeria and the Nigerians. Because we're even silent about what is happening in Borno and Maiduguri nowadays. What is happening to our soldiers? How many are dying? What is the true report about our children in the military? How many are alive? How do they do the battle? Who will report to the world of what is actually happening there? How many go there in a week and how many are still alive? Because the Fulani issue and the killing in Benue and some other states have even diverted the attention of what is happening over there, and have diverted the attention of the killings that are going out of because of hunger and hopelessness, zero medication.
In the hospital.
When the rich are sick, they fly out and they take care of themselves. From the president down to even the church leaders.
Mm-hmm.
So we shouldn't even blame only the political leaders. Even with church leaders, everybody is becoming selfish. What is happening to our congregations? How are we feeding them? So we need supernatural transmutation, or call it supernatural transformation, or call it a metaphysical revival. Whatever it has to do, because the world change, as we said, have been messed up. But when we talk about transformation, we talk about transmutation. In the Catholic Church, there's this slogan that is more supernatural. We call it transubstantiation.
That's right.
At that level, ordinary bread becomes the body of Jesus Christ. So we need metamorphosis. The country needs change. As I said, Buhari is a good man. But because of a lot of factors around him, those around him are not telling him the truth. Even when they tell him the truth and he gives order, they will go out and mutilate it and tell him that everybody is happy. You know, everything is moving very well. So is everything moving well? And the country of 100 and something million are still importing pencil, importing toothpick. And there's no country in the world that has the type of bush we have in Nigeria. Technologically, we are nowhere. In terms of, because all these things, when we cannot empower the youths, immorality is breeded. Because a hungry man is an angry man, and an angry man can do anything to survive. So we are praying that whoever, because until the time for the introduction, I don't even know whom they said is aspiring for president. But my spirit is telling me is Bremen.
I was going to say that the spirit has directed you.
So when we do the introduction,
Yes.
I have been in tandem with the attack and the suffering and persecution.
Yes.
Anytime we say the truth, they
You'll
begin
get
to
hit.
attack
Yeah.
you. Even where I am in Umuchibu, in that bush, is a product of saying the truth.
Yes. To push you there.
With the assassination exploits. As I was telling before they came in, when I went to President Obasanjo to tell him the truth, Mr. President, after saying this truth, am I safe? He said, no, you know I'm the president. 2 days after that, they bombed my house. That was the time they were coming around Sahara people. They bombed the house on a Monday night. And they thought I died inside. The whole house got burnt down. Mighty explosion. A spy came and informed me by morning I should run away from the house, that the house is going to be bombed tonight. And it happened. Miraculous escape. So when eventually I didn't die that day, on the Sunday following it, I was caught on the road coming from my bishop's house, and it was face-to-face shooting. bullets were all over, and then it was just a miracle. I thought I was a dead man. The vehicle was scattered. I was with 3 orphans that I was taking care of in the school. They brought the orphans down.
They died.
No, they didn't. They allowed me alone in the vehicle. The orphans were crying because they brought my vehicle with the bullets all over. Don't move. The orphans were crying. We are orphans. They brought them down and fetched somebody from their vehicle and said, "Come and identify me." Say yes, it's Father Mbaka. I said, "Are you sure?" Say yes, it's Father Mbaka. I'm sure. And they started shooting. Say shooting. It was the rain of bullets. I never seen anything like that. But the miraculous part of that thing was when eventually I ran into, I don't know how eventually they brought my body down and how I escaped into the bush. But when eventually I came out from the bush in the morning, I was thinking I'm a ghost moving around. The white garment I was wearing, my stand, had blood, but no bullet entered my body. So I don't know how it happened. Though it was the time of Chamber Kanko.
Yes.
So all these phenomena, the baton handing over had been going on now.
Yes.
So Nigeria cannot continue like this. That's my worry. Our youths must be helped. Our children must be helped. We must plan for our generation to come. Intergenerational leadership.
Transition.
Yes, leadership program. There must be a culture of continuity. How do we sustain our life? This oil-producing country, this country with fertile ground for agriculture, this country with good human resources. We have the human capital. Our youths are ready to work from morning till morning. Why can't there be a leader who will empower them? Because there's no youth empowerment. Our widows have nobody taking care of them. You see the orphans, they are hopeless, they are abandoned. Many of them have to travel to foreign countries to go in asylum and will do dirty jobs to survive. And many die like that. So I am using this platform to say that whoever is thinking of Nigeria's wellness shall be well with that person. And anybody who is planning against the downfall of this country shall never be well with that person.
Yes, sir.
And whoever thinks that they can buy votes and rig everything and protect himself or herself, it has to be business as usual. In the kingdom of God, it doesn't be business as usual. God can send down fire and carry Elijah up. It can't be business as usual. And prophets of Baals, no matter how many there are, one Elijah can defeat all of them.
That's right.
So God bless you. So, as I said, I'm Father Mbaka.
Yes, Father, thank you so much for letting us come see you. I'm meeting our brother here for the first time. So we've been talking, and when he told me that you're in town, I said, I've been looking for you. When we went to the east to do our town hall meeting, one of the places we wanted to go to was to see you. It's almost impossible. We called, and later found out that some of the people we had to look for you are APC people, so they never even made any attempts. But they claimed they could help us. They said you said you're not willing to meet. So that's what happened.
And they forgot I'm not a partisan person.
Exactly. No, they didn't want us to meet you because they are APC. They are not saying that you are APC.
Yes.
Just so that you're clear about that.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, listen in on this.
Hello. Who is the person? Hello? They should wait for you. We're having a meeting. Let them wait.
Even expecting somebody.
So,
Yes. So, Father, my name is Omoyele Sowore. I am the most known as the publisher of Sahara Reporters. I'm sure you know Sahara Reporters. Yes. So I founded the website 12 years ago and focused mostly on making Nigeria a great place. Before I did Sahara Reporters, I used to be a student leader at the University of Lagos. So all those years of Abacha, Babangida, they were the young people who were fighting the battle at that time. But when they were done in 1999, I left Nigeria to come to stay in the US. Lived in the US now for 12 years. I'm sorry, 19 years. But within that period, my most physical endeavor has been Sahara Reporters. About a year ago, all these young people, some of them who are here, we've been having a conversation on how to take Nigeria in a different direction.
You're from where?
I'm originally from Ondo State, in the southern part of Ondo State. I'm Ijo Apoy. That's how you describe me. Even though I lay the least emphasis on those things. And so we'll be having a conversation that the only natural direction to go is for all the people of conscience to join ourselves together and make Nigeria become a country we can be proud of, or we just forget it. And nobody else can do it but those of us who have seen the country progress in different directions and have helped the country to progress when it was difficult to do so. Like you've mentioned, when we were fighting as student union leaders, other young people were collecting money and cars from Babangida. They offered us 505 in those days when it was the biggest car around, and we rejected it. Decided to fight the military. There was a time they told us that nobody can defeat Abacha. The same people that you have now, we said we'll do it and we did. Abacha died and Nigeria came to experience democracy. After that, you know about Obasanjo and Chimaroke and all of them during third term. They said during third term that the only person who can run Nigeria is Obasanjo. That if Obasanjo is not allowed to continue, Nigeria will come to. Third term was defeated. We are the ones who did it. After that, the Obasanjo got upset. Go and bring Yaradua, who is practically dead, put it on top of Nigeria. Put him on top of Nigeria. They said, Yaradua is recovering. We said, no, we saw the medical records were exposed to the whole country. That is how Jonathan came into office. And the reason I mentioned that is that when people talk about Jonathan, they talk as if Jonathan came by himself, that people didn't fight for him. And that the only time they know us is when we're against Jonathan. We're against Jonathan based out of conviction that Jonathan was a big disappointment to the people like us. We fought and risked our lives for Jonathan to even become an acting president. When all the people who eventually benefited from him were hiding, including lawmakers, judges, all of them were supporting Yaradua Kabal. So Jonathan came. What did Jonathan give us? Corruption of the biggest proportion. And we said we cannot accept it. Even though naturally I'm supposed to come from where Jonathan is from, as I mentioned to you earlier. But my conscience could not allow me to support such a human being. And that was how Buhari came into, they accuse us of bringing Buhari. I never campaigned for Buhari, but I don't hide it that I said, over my dead body should Jonathan continue in a country where above 100, most of his tenure. And what they were doing was just shipping Nigeria's wealth elsewhere. Switzerland today, Dubai tomorrow. Some of it came to Potomac here, some of them to London. And we said we are not going to support that. And when Buhari came, Buhari may be a good man. I don't believe that a good man should be in the company of bad people.
That's
There are too many bad people around him for me to even think twice that he's a good man. Because if tomorrow, when tomorrow I become president of Nigeria and I cannot control the kind of company I keep, that means I'm not a good person.
Or you sack them.
Can be
Yes,
good,
or you
but
can't. Yeah,
No,
it can be good,
no,
but
it could be
incompetent.
the other way around.
Yeah.
Like Jesus is a good man,
Yeah.
but he had a Judas.
Yes.
So you won't say that Jesus is an evil man.
Yes.
He had the Peter who even denied him.
Yes.
He had John Mark who ran away naked.
Mhm.
So when you he had Mary Magdalene who was a prostitute. So a good man can begin to change, influence change in those around him.
Yeah.
Or if they refuse to be changed,
Then
you
sack
sack
him.
him.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about Buhari. It doesn't mean he is a bad man. I'm not here to judge him.
Yes.
But Buhari that helped Nigeria during the Diabo, if it's the same Buhari, but now he's sick.
Yes.
You know what happens to you whenever you're sick? You don't remember any other thing
Yeah.
apart from your health.
So, but Father, my position on Buhari finally is that, we are a good man. The best thing a good man can do to Nigeria in this dispensation is to not let Nigeria discover itself in a different direction. The country has been kind to him. We paid all his bills when he was sick. We allowed him to even park the jets pound at 5,000 euros per night. Nobody asked. When he came back, people prayed for him, they welcomed him. But now it is obvious that Nigeria cannot progress with a Buhari continuing in power, and that we must then rediscover ourselves and move the country in the path of progress. Buhari cannot do it for us. His goodness, as we know it, has overstayed its welcome for a Nigeria that needs to go in a different direction. And that is where we come in as young people. We are better than them. And we are not saying it to brag. You are better than them. Because you have been through even some of the things they didn't go through, you've been through. You're talking about being shot out. I was shot out at the university too. I was abducted at the University of Lagos. I was injected with a substance, a non-substance, when I was at the University of Lagos Student Union in those days. So, but we didn't ask to be compensated for it, because that's not what we came to do. You know, our part was to help, and in most cases after we help, we just disappear to our various ministries. Yours is religious, mine is of conscience or media. So we disappear. But over time we discovered that this same ministry that we are doing, we are the one who will come and clean up the mess. You know, when they are done with their nonsense, we'll come back. So instead of doing the job of cleaning the mess, we say, why don't we come together and rebuild our country? Because we know that this country, if it is in the hands of proper people, will look better than even this place that we are in today.
Tend to tell the people to wait.
So, in that regard, it is important that we don't shy away from asking that Nigerians join hands together to change the course of our direction. Because the direction that we are on now is not going to work for too long. I think we have actually pushed our luck for too long, and we are running out of luck if we don't change it. But we can change the direction. We can all come together now. Father Mbaka, you have a very powerful voice.
They should wait.
You have a very powerful voice. You have a very powerful platform. We also do. But without joining hands together, without reaching out to everybody and telling them the truth about the future, like you do, you speak truth to power. I write truth to power. We've never met before, but our paths have crossed several times. I've had to do all I can to defend you on the platform, to make sure that when they were moving, reporting it as we were moving and putting the pictures as people were welcoming you into. And we knew that that was what happened to you, that you were being punished for. But if you are not being punished for doing what is right, that means you are not doing your job. So, the long and short of it here is that you may not have heard my name before. And I have.
Now, I know a lot about Sahara, but I don't know you are the small boys in charge of it.
So yes, I'm the young person in charge of Sahara Reporters. And the interesting thing, Father, is that while we do this, a lot of people have climbed over our backs to get into office. They've used publications that we make to claim integrity and assume positions that they have messed up. So are we going to continue to do it? Till when? Exactly. So it's for us, we have reached a point where we're saying enough is enough, and we want to change our country. We have brothers out of the country who are even more eager to see a better Nigeria, sometimes I think, than us. And we hear from them all the time. Because you know what? Our movies make them feel good. Our music make them feel good. Our clothes, our innovation is driving growth in other economies around the world. If you walk into this Washington, D.C., you go to NASA, you find a Nigeria there. You go to the Congress, there are Nigerians who are helping out. You go into a big computer company, there are Nigerians who are making things happen. You go into the medical field, there are Nigerians, especially in this tri-state area, Virginia, Washington, D.C., and Maryland. Lots of Nigerians. But they don't even have a home to go back to. Even when they want to go and help, the room for assisting with the country has almost closed down on good people. It's only when you want to go and perpetrate fraud in Nigeria that you get red carpet reception at the airport. If you can tell the governor now that you can help them move money to come and buy houses here, they will give you private jets that will take you to Nigeria. But tell them that you are bringing a medical vision to Enugu.
Okay.
They will tell the customs to seize your equipment. Just during my last trip, I took a small device. It's called a drone. They use it to cover weddings in Nigeria, just to cover our campaign. The customs sees it. They call it a weapon, a drone that children use it here, everywhere in Washington D.C., everywhere all over US. They said it's weapon. And if we had leaders, they would have asked me, where can we even get the ones that can help us to monitor those headsmen? Because one good drone can help a whole police department to do its job without them having to go out. They just put it out there so that when they want to go and fight crime, they'll go to the targets where the crime needs to be fought. But nobody's thinking about that. They are more interested in my small drone because they see me as a troublemaker who wants to bring a technology that will expose the corruption that is going on in the country. But we cannot continue to wait. And 2019 for us is the ending point for bad governance and the starting point for a new direction, a new era. So that's why we've come to see you. I would love to come to see you in Enugu. I'm coming to see you in Enugu. Now I will get your number and I will get an appointment so that I don't have to go through the APC and PDP people to reach you. Those ones
I'm not even a protocol person.
Yes.
Dr. DK asked a question.
Yes.
He wanted clarification on the platform.
Yes. I've been having conversation with him.
Okay.
Doctor, we have not chosen a platform as in political party yet. We have a political platform known as Take It Back Movement, which is very, very popular in Nigeria now. We are choosing or naming a political party that will be a vehicle for conducting, for running for office in 2 weeks' time. That's in about, in the middle of July. Because we have been having conversations with a lot of political parties in the country. So that's where we are. And we'll name a political party where already we have a functioning movement across the country, mostly of young people who are disenchanted with the system. As we like to describe them, we are the Zone 7. There are 6 geopolitical zones in Nigeria. We have formed our own zone now, and it's the turn of our zone. So the rotational presidency of Nigeria is now the turn of Zone 7.
Yes.
Our zone, the zone of the disenchanted, the disenfranchised, the abandoned, and sometimes discredited, the brutalized, the disrespected. So the inconsequential people are coming together now, and we want to see demoralized. We want to lift them up in the air to experience the glory that they've never had before.
And the program, sir. Just an overview of the program.
So, and I want us to have a little bit of interaction and know people are waiting for you downstairs.
No, don't worry about it.
I came all the way.
It's for your sake that I cancel my trip.
Thank you so much. So,
Thank you, sir.
So our programs are around security. That's number one priority for us. But just besides security is power. There's no progress for Nigeria without electricity. And we have figured it out, having lived out here and understanding the technology that's out there to even bring electricity to Nigeria quicker and faster. The Enugu where you live has code underneath the place that has been there. And there are clean coal technologies out there that can use that to even bring the electricity faster to the east. But most importantly, our priority is solar energy. Sunshine in Nigeria, doesn't end. We can start from the north. Morocco, which is a country that whose prosperity started after Nigeria, now is going to be supplying electricity to France and Malta from solar. They were able
Solar farm.
Yes, they grew solar farms all over the place. If you go to Morocco, even bus stop, there's a solar panel on top. They don't use roof anymore. I think there's a country, I can't remember the country now, that started making solar roads. So as you are driving on the roads, the moment the car leaves, it's generating electricity. That's where technology is. But there's nobody within our system that is thinking along those lines. They are still thinking about how to be importing more and more generators in the country. And these generators are starting to kill people through carbon monoxide emission. Because people put generators inside the house to avoid thieves from carrying them from the outside. Whole families are wiped out. We are also very interested in infrastructure. Infrastructure means that Just as we came,
Can you tell him?
yeah, I came yesterday from Washington DC, just sat in a coach of a train.
To wait.
And I got here in the middle of the night, almost 11 o'clock. Who is it in Nigeria that will go and travel from Lagos to Enugu at 11? We don't even have nightlife.
No security.
No
police
security.
on the way.
If there's policemen, they are probably aiding armed robbers or kidnappers. That's where we are in Nigeria. That must change. Corruption is killing us. I personally have fought corruption almost individually as Sahara reporters without government help for 12 years. You know, Shimaroke, the deep Shimaroke you are talking about, all of the governors, Chicago, all the way to Bola Tinubu, all of them, the exposure that was done, Saraki was done by us at that time. We used to go after this Potomac used to be full of houses of Nigerian corrupt people, including the former vice president who is now running for office, Atiku. He just sold his house in Potomac after America prevented, after he couldn't come to the US for a long time. He claims that they didn't offer him visa. But they asked him, it's not that they didn't offer him, they said they should bring his wife, Jennifer, who was collecting money on his behalf, to come together so that they can come and face the law. He didn't bring the wife, he said he didn't bring him visa. Because his corruption had to do with the collection of bribe from Siemens. I think it was Siemens, yes. About $2 million, and they passed through the wife to him. And I think that's how they bought it. They sold the house. Ojus Okalo has the house there, we exposed it. DSP Alamaseya, before he died, used to have a house here. All of them used to, but they've all sold their houses now and run away, including even Audu, who died in Kogi before the election. He died on the day he was supposed to win the election. We broke that story too. Anyways, so that kind of corruption is not only at home, it's also offshore. We know how to fight corruption. There's no question, because we know how to track money. It's what I do for a living for 12 years. And there's not the corruption of newspaper shouting. There's a corruption of you go after the money. But most part, you prevent them from stealing the money. The moment they steal the money, it's difficult. Don't you see how long it took for us to repatriate Abacha's money from Switzerland? And the truth they haven't told us about Abacha's money is what the lawyers who brokered the deal collected. If you hear it, you will cry for Nigeria. The lawyers hired by Nigeria to retrieve the money. Their own cut of the money is huge. It can build a whole hospital, if not more than even 10. Yes, these are lawyers, that's the job they do. And they are paid before you get your own process. This is money stolen from Nigeria. To get it back, lawyers from Switzerland collected huge amount of money. Nobody is disclosing that because they don't want us to know. But we know these things because that's what I do. And our economy, we have a robust agenda to revive the Nigerian economy around agriculture, around technology, because Nigerians are so innovative. We should be the ones exporting technology to the world the same way China is doing it today. The same way Singapore is doing it today. The same way Malaysia is doing it today. Even the same way India is doing it today. The same thing applies to health. We are going to India. $2 billion is what Nigerians take to India every year for medical tourism. As you know, everybody that's sick, we are going to India.
I pay for
Yes, exactly.
kidney transplant.
All the time.
I tell you how many I've
Done. That was done in India.
Yes,
Exactly. Because there's no kidney transplant. They don't even have the kidney, what's it called, the machine. Dialysis machine. I don't think there are more than 2 or 3 dialysis machines in the whole of Nigeria. A country of 198 million people. They don't have more than 2 or 3 dialysis.
Do they have an oncology center there?
Oncology center? I don't know about. We are talking about treating malaria. You're talking about oncology. You're asking for too much. This is because most of the doctors left already, and the ones that are left behind don't have the equipment to work with. Because the government is not
the UNTH.
Yeah.
It took us dilapidated.
Yes. We went to this thing. That's why the
The
president
doctors
himself
are there
can't trust doctors to touch him. If our doctor, our president, we announced that he has an ear infection and he runs to London to fix it. So you can imagine the fate of ordinary Nigerians. Like he mentioned, like Father mentioned, that is why God became a business. Because it became the only hope that people have. You know, but the leaders of the churches themselves, the leaders of the mosques themselves, when they are sick, they don't stay in the church. They fly out. As you know, most of our church leaders have jets. Some of them have 2. I'm surprised you don't have.
From where? Where I'm still being pursued.
You know, you don't even have a bulletproof vehicle, apparently. That's why they could just easily shoot you like that.
I am the common man for the common people.
Now we know that. You know. So we have this broad agenda around health, education, agriculture, and tourism. We call our agenda is named Spicer Heat. You know, with security, power, infrastructure, anti-corruption, economy. We want to do restructuring too. But our position on restructuring is a little different from the one they are pushing now. We don't want old people to restructure Nigeria for us. And it is something here, old man, who is on the departure lounge of life, should not be the one driving the restructuring conversation in Nigeria, where there are 70% of its population who are young people. We want to be on the table. But not necessarily just being on the table, we want to control the levels of power when the conversation is happening. Because the person that would drive the conversation for restructuring is the person in power at the end of the day. That's Nigeria for you. And that's the situation everywhere in the world. It is people who control the secretariat that will control when it is open for a meeting. You understand? You control these things. It's not also about control, it's about the future of the country. It's about the future of these young people. So if we have 198 million people in Nigeria, 70% of them are young people. We are talking about over 100 million people, right? That are young people below the age of 30. So if you want to restructure Nigeria, there should be the most people in the room where the conversation is taking place. And that's all we're asking for. Great, if you want to have state police, fantastic. You want to have regional control or control of resources, fantastic. But in doing that, we must be the ones who are there to say, look, if it is about the computer, 84-year-old Nigerians who are talking about restructuring don't even know about technology. Too many of them, to tell them to use phone, you have to tell them about call me the number. So, and people, these are the same people who say that Buhari is too old to run again for office, but they want to restructure Nigeria. So let everybody go. Buhari, let him go retire to his 150 cows and his family. Let the old people who want to restructure go and restructure their families. Let young people come out, stand up, join hands together, use our intellect, our brain, our focus, our drive, our stamina. Because one of the things that is here that we're having a conversation about is that for those of you who believe Buhari is good, you also have admitted that he's sick and he's slow. And he has no stamina. So we cannot reward a man without stamina with another 4 years. We are not even being fair to him.
And if he's if he is good in quote,
yes,
and he cannot change the bad people around him, then all of them should go.
Exactly.
That's right.
So that's our position, Father. Like we said.
But if like what I'm telling them,
Yes.
if all these things you have said, because why I'm worried about politicians, when they are about entering into power, their tongues are too sweet.
That's it.
They will have honey in their mouth. They can even convince the angels to go and cry to God.
That's right.
They, in quote, they can even sign the signature of God.
Yes.
And you think it is God who wanted them.
That's assuming God is now using digital
Yes, so but once they enter into power, you begin to ask
Same
yourself.
story, yes.
That's okay.
So the problem will be, is he not the same person who promised he's going to do this and do that? Is there any evil on that chair that will always possess all of, because this is just like one kind of soup in one pot, put in different kinds of plates. This one is golden plate, this one is silver plate, this one is diamond plate, this one is plastic plate. If you are not careful, you think because this one is a golden plate.
It's
a
sweeter than the
yes,
other,
not knowing it's from one pot.
That's right.
So, President of Sahara, please, You know, I never knew you and I never have a contact with you. I will plead that we hand you over to God.
Not like Nigeria.
No, I'm a Nigerian.
Yes.
Like in Enugu, the governor handed over the state to Enugu and he's doing well.
To God.
Yes, handed Enugu to God. He handed Enugu to God.
Sincerely.
Enugu state is the hand of God, is our slogan. And if you come to Enugu now, you see a peace. You can touch the peace. You can feel it, you can inhale it. So I've never envisaged that, I've never witnessed that in the land of Enugu. You can notice brotherly love. You can see a leader with a passion and empathy for the people he's leading. You can see a kind-hearted man, a godly man. He's not here, I'm just speaking the truth. So, if we will hand you over to God and do prayers about your personality, but I wish to tell you what you are coming for is not a cheap job. It's like a golden fish coming to battle a crocodile. You mean well. The fish is not happy that this crocodile had eaten our children, our brothers, our sisters, fish is in the water. So one golden fish wants to go and battle the crocodile. Put yourself in that scenario. You meant well. Almost your vision is my vision. I am not a politician. I'm not ready to be one. If you offer me 100 billion pounds, I can't leave my priesthood to be a politician. I'm not a political leader. My job is to support goodness. And anybody that means well for my people is a fellow apostle. Because if the leader is bad, I may be wasting my time on the altar. When you tell them the mass has ended, go in peace, they will go to the leader. And not even in peace, they will go in pieces. Because there's no house to live in, no job, no food, no hospital to take care of them, no good road. Because the way the country is now, when they build road, it's as if to say they have done something great for you. Look at here in America. Yes, night we travel from here, Washington D.C., to 2 hours away. What you saw in Washington D.C. is what you see there. There's no village. And the road will come to somebody's house. It's not a matter of this one is not a PDP person. No road for you. If you want road, you join our party. So we need God to give us somebody after his own heart who can emancipate Nigeria. Because Nigeria is the heart of Africa. It's the hub of Africa. Forget about South Africa and whatever she's doing. Nigeria is Africa. So when the country is good, when Nigeria is good, Africa is good.
Hi, are you guys checking out?
We are in a meeting, please.
You had extended the room. Yeah, that's I'll check out.
So what I'm trying to say is we will pray, and when you come to Enugu, all of us will come back to Nigeria, and we wish to have an indoor chat with you.
Okay.
There are some questions I will ask you off camera, and there are things I will tell you now I've seen you, because I'm going to pray over your personality and know what the Holy Spirit will reveal to me about your identity. I will equally tell you the truth. You know, when I was telling Jonathan and Co, they can't come back.
You didn't believe you.
Instead of believing, they started attacking me. And God says the chair is vacant. Buhari will take over. I never knew who Buhari was. They accused me of being sponsored by Buhari. And God knows up till now. Buhari has never given me one coup. up till now. I'm not against his leadership because he has not given me anything. I'm only unhappy with him because he doesn't want to make necessary changes. I was telling them before you came, Brazil wanted to win Mexico in yesterday's World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Because Coutinho was a star in Barcelona,
Mm-hmm.
and has been doing well. But yesterday's match, he was not doing well. To be in the attacking force with Neymar, Williams, and the feeding ball to Jesus to score. Even though Neymar scored the first goal, if you watch that match, the first half, 20% into it, the team was weak. Mexico people were having
Aggressive,
yes.
yeah, and have an advantage.
What did they do? They changed Coutinho and brought in that guy that scored the second goal. Because he came with aggression, he came with. So if the country is not going the way we want, President, the ministers around you, what do they tell you? Because I cannot now stand here to tell you that President Buhari is bad. If it is Buhari, I know. The little I know of him, because you can never know fully of a man. The much I know about him, he meant well. But he's too unfortunate. He's caged by people who are not letting him the truth. And if such a phenomenon will continue, then he shouldn't continue there. Because if you enter a vehicle in Enugu, and the vehicle is moving towards 9th mile, heading towards Kogi, and the driver tells you that he's taking you to Port Harcourt, and you are sleeping, you believe there's no trouble, and before you know it, you have crossed past the Lokoja. You say, are we reaching the place? He said, very soon. By now we should be heading for So at the end of the drama, you see yourself moving towards the north. Either you tell the driver,
So make a drop.
stop, or you ask him to
reverse.
reverse.
Yes.
Turn around.
My own is that my people are dying. I am a people's person. I represent the poor, the unwins, the nobodies, the less privileged, the marginalized,
The inconsequential.
the inconsequential, the natas.
The lazy ones.
Yeah? So the good-willed people that are called lazy ones.
Yes.
I represent a group that if they are well directed, Nigeria will be a mini heaven.
Yes. That's right.
Because our people
We know so.
we are innovative in hospitality.
That's right.
Nigerians are not bad, but we have few bad leaders who are representing us. So it is a matter of the whole anatomical systems in a man, but there is one bitter gallbladder, very small, the gallbladder. If you kill a goat and allow the gallbladder to spare, it will spoil the whole meat. So what then do you do? You don't allow the gallbladder to continue. You remove it.
First and foremost.
First and foremost, too. Otherwise, the taste of the gallbladder spares the taste of the whole meat, the aroma and whatever. So the gallbladder leadership in Nigeria is what I'm worried about. We have a gallbladder leadership. Look at the whole head, look at the whole kidneys, the whole liver, the whole cardiovascular organ, the entirety of the hematological and dermatological. If a woman, a big womb, but the gallbladder is controlling.
Yes.
What about the brain? Billions of cells, the eyes, the nasal, the dental. But now everybody talking about, this meat is bitter. This meat is bitter. So whoever is the gallbladder should be removed.
Yes.
And the meat should remain. Nigeria is like a good mix, but the gallbladder, I think,
spilling on
even in the Senate, we have the gallbladders. In the House of Reps, because our problem is not just Buhari. Our problem spreads everywhere.
Yeah.
Look at the youth you think you are leading. Some of them will come out tomorrow and attack you first. Now leave us like that. You experienced it during Babangida's time.
Yes. Yes.
So part of questions I'm going to ask you when you come about your grip on the ground. It's not all about the agenda on the air. So that you will not waste your time and waste your money and their thoughts. My job is to tell you the truth. I love you. I love your Sahara projects. I am happy with your realistic and the level of your veracity, how you handle the truth. You expose it when other units are hiding it.
Audacity.
So your audacity is worthy of being encouraged. So whoever is that person behind that Sahara achievement should be embraced and appreciated. And if it's the will of God, my own, because I believe in the will of God.
Right.
So if it's the will of God that will be our president, I will shout hallelujah. My own is praying, let the will of God be done. Because the Bible says in Romans chapter 8, verse 18, for them that love, verse 28, for them that love God, everything works together for good. But I could remember also in Psalm 138, verse 8, he says, God will perfect that which concerns you.
That's right.
So I am waiting for that perfection. Nigeria is not as bad as, even as we're exaggerating it. God is still giving us life. Yes. God has not failed us. Ezra 10 verse 2 says, in spite of all this, there is still hope. And I believe it. Whatever we have lost in the time of Jonathan and even this time our president is battling with people, lawmakers, some of them, you know where they come from. Who are making the laws? Even if you're president today and you want to do what is contramand, what is against the law of the land because you want to move forward, and the senators and the House of Reps have not approved it, you know they will impeach you. So it's another problem. So the change has to be integral. Because
and total.
Buhari, even if he wants to fight, what will he do? A senator sitting in his house is a multi-billionaire. With the constituency allowances, he comes and gives the people in the village peanuts and he takes the whole billion outside Nigeria. Now, you want to fight the senator and you go to court. The court procedure will continue before you finish the high court gambling or whatever argument and go to appeal court and Supreme Court that 2013 cases have not been listened to. Sorry, 2008.
In the Supreme Court, yes.
So when will that matter be ruled?
Events will have overtaken
You must have died before that time. So I am talking about integral reconstruction. However it will be done. If God wants to use you as a weapon, I'll be happy. Buhari could have done that. But you know, one negative aspect of somebody being good, many good people are too tolerant. They are too tolerant. They don't want to displease anybody. But when you want to please everybody, end up displeasing everybody.
It's a sign of weakness.
Yes, so he's good, but he's weak.
Yeah.
And he's sick. And when somebody is sick and he wants to protect whatever, I don't know. Because if the Buhari we know, if it is Buhari we know, by now there will be change everywhere. Even from the military leaders to police leaders to the ministers, and the country will begin to inhale change. For now, there is no change. The only change that's going on now is, I can say, a change of the pattern of fraud. Because the fraud is going on because they have changed the pattern. So there's change going on.
That's right.
and the change of the destination of the loot.
Yes, that's of the loot.
Rather is the end of the somewhere.
So what I will do for you is, as a good man, having heard your political mantra, I will pray for you. When I go home, you come. We have to stay together, and I'll ask you 1 or 2, 3 questions. If you can answer them properly, then I know that God has given you the horn to fight. Because just as I said, another analogy is like a goat. You are not happy that lions have been carrying your sisters. Now you want to go and fight a lion in the bush. So I want to check the strength of your horn. You know, the ram. I want to go to fight a lion. How strong you are, because it is true the goats are killed, the sheep are dying, the rams are being carried by the wolves and lions. So now the goats have a meeting. Let us go and fight them. In the animal kingdom, they will say, who will bear the rat? Who will bear the cat?
That's right.
Who will bear? Who will carry the bear? All the cats, all the rats are complaining that the cats are killing us. And the only solution is that one rat should wear a pair. So that when it happens, it will ring the bell. So which one will put it? So please, you are wonderful. The Sahara person is a good man. Because as I said, when Buhari was coming out, change, everybody. But what gave Buhari overhead was Jonathan's weakness. And I told Jonathan. But the people around him embargoed him. They didn't allow me. Even I put it in tape, what he will do that will make Buhari not to take over. The vision came with solution. They ignored it. And now he was the first to give Buhari congratulations. So they shouldn't blame for Mbaka.
Yes.
I'm not a fan of Jonathan when he started messing up. Before he became the president, we prophesied. It was in a tape too. Jonathan has never given me 1 kobo. So I'm not after anybody's money. God lost me so much and he's blessing me. But whenever the poor masses begin to cry, I begin to cry with them. That's my worry. Right now, we need a supernatural transformation. And whoever will come with that agenda and will tell